Have you ever wondered what really happens behind the glitter, the fame, and the headlines of a global superstar? What if the story we thought we knew was only the surface? Today, we're diving into The Woman in Me by Britney Spears, a deeply personal memoir that reveals the strength, heartbreak, and resilience behind one of the world's most iconic pop figures. From the very beginning, Britney's life was anything but ordinary. Growing up in a small town in Louisiana, she discovered early on that performing was her escape, her way to feel alive. She joined talent shows, local performances, and eventually found her way to the Mickey Mouse Club, where fame first began to take shape. But what sets this memoir apart is how Britney reflects on this early rise with both gratitude and sadness, acknowledging that even though the world saw her as a young star on the rise, she was still just a child trying to understand who she was. As fame skyrocketed, record sales soared and hit after hit dominated the charts. Britney practically became pop culture. Yet behind the scenes, pressure, control, and scrutiny intensified. Paparazzi followed her every step. Tabloids created nonstop narratives, and every highly personal moment became public conversation. The Woman in Me reveals how this constant spotlight wasn't glamorous, it was consuming. Britney shares how performances were celebrated, but her emotions, her relationships, and her autonomy were often dismissed or managed for profit. One of the most powerful parts of this memoir is Britney's discussion of her family, particularly her father and the conservatorship that controlled her life for over a decade. She describes how decisions about her career, her money, and even her body were taken from her, leaving her unheard within her own life. Britney details how painful and surreal it feels to be an adult woman treated like a child, to have her voice suppressed, her freedom restricted, and her identity overshadowed by those who claimed they were helping her. But here's where the heart of her story shines. The Woman in Me is not just about suffering, it's about reclaiming power. Throughout these chapters, Britney writes with clear honesty, vulnerability, and surprising warmth. She acknowledges her own mistakes, reflects on lessons learned, and celebrates the people and moments that helped her survive. Step by step, she describes the journey from feeling trapped to awakening to finally finding agency again. And then came the moment the world remembers, the movement to free her. Britney shares how the outpouring of support from fans, from strangers, from people who saw the injustice, helped her find the courage to speak out publicly and fight for her freedom. Her voice, once controlled, became louder and stronger than anyone expected. And finally, after years of silence, she regained her independence, not just legally, but emotionally and creatively. The Woman in Me is more than a memoir. It is a testimony of resilience. It reminds us that it's easy to judge when you only see headlines. But behind every celebrity, every success story, every pop princess, there is a human being longing to be seen for who they truly are. Britney's story encourages us to trust our inner voice, protect our peace, and remember that healing is a journey worth taking even when the world watches. If you've ever admired Britney, if you've ever felt misunderstood, or if you simply love stories of strength and self-discovery, this memoir is worth experiencing. It's raw, emotional, and incredibly inspiring. If you want to hear Britney tell her story in her own words, with her own heart, consider listening to the full audiobook. Let her voice guide you through her journey. It's not just informative, it's powerful.